You wake up, pour a cup of coffee, and decide whether to take the highway or the back roads to work. It feels entirely up to you. You feel deep down that the future hasn't happened yet, and the choice you're about to make actually matters. But asking theoretical physicists or philosophers about time often leads to a dead end. They usually present two contradictory stories that both clash with how we actually live our lives. If our daily choices are to have consequences, we need a description of time that accounts for both the flexibility of our futures and the rigidity of our physics. The first story is Presentism. This view claims that only what is happening right now is real. Imagine reality as a razor-thin slice of the universe illuminated by a moving spotlight of now. Ahead of that slice, in the future, there is absolutely nothing. This matches our intuition. The First World War is over. The events don't exist in the current world, only their traces do: fossils, archives, and the physical shape of the landscape. However, presentism struggles with modern science. Albert Einstein's work showed that there is no single now that everyone shares. Clocks tick at different rates depending on their speed and the gravity around them, meaning your now might not align with mine. While presentism supports our sense of responsibility, it requires a synchronized cosmic clock that the observed laws of physics don't recognize. The second story is the block universe. It treats time like a completed film reel. In this view, the past, present, and future all exist equally and simultaneously in a fixed structure. This diagram maps out the universe as a four-dimensional block. Physicists often use this model because the geometry accurately represents relativity without requiring a universal master clock. This creates a difficult conclusion. If the future is already part of the block, our feeling of change is just a byproduct of how our brains process information. Our sense of choosing a path would be an illusion. We are left caught between a theory that ignores Einstein's physics and a theory that suggests our lives are a finished script. We can move past the choice between a moving spotlight and a frozen block by viewing reality as an ongoing performance. This involves looking at the now not as a thin slice, but as a thick present. This is a field of active registration, where physical interactions are constantly writing and stabilizing new information. In this model, there is one world that is continuously happening. Instead of pre-rendered slices, reality is the sum of these interactions occurring in real time. This framework, called Changism, allows us to treat becoming as a real physical process, while still respecting the geometric rules of relativity. In this view, the past isn't a vanished ghost realm. It exists right now as physical records. The truth of dinosaurs is held within the fossils, geological layers, and memory traces currently present in the world. The future exists right now as active potentials and constraints. The trajectory of a rocket is dictated by its current momentum, the thrust of its engines, and the pull of gravity in this exact moment. If you were to erase every present record, the past would lose its grounding. If you change the present potentials, like the rocket's thrust, the future outcomes are rewritten immediately. All truths about yesterday and tomorrow rely on the physical evidence and dispositions we hold in the present. This distinction helps us see where the block universe theory went wrong. It treated the tool used to measure reality as if it were reality itself. This diagram shows world lines and light cones, the geometric boundaries of how signals can travel. This math is a map. It tracks how fast information moves and how different paths through the universe intersect. The error occurred when the map was turned into furniture. Because the geometry was so successful at describing the paths of signals, it was assumed the world itself was a frozen four-dimensional object. We can keep the geometric map to navigate the universe while still allowing the territory to be alive and unfolding. If there is no universal clock, how does the universe keep its records consistent? It works through many ledgers. Information is tracked locally by physical systems, like the ticking of a watch, a computer logging data, or rings forming inside a tree. This animation shows two ledgers recording the same event. Because light and signals take time to travel, different observers will log the same occurrence at different times. Their records are frame-dependent, but they are all recording the same underlying reality. The universe functions through billions of these local bookkeeping systems, all independently verifying a single shared performance. This returns us to the choice you make every morning. If the world is an ongoing ledger, your actions take on a different weight. Your sense of choice isn't a glitch. You are not a passenger watching a pre-recorded film. When you make a decision here and now, you are actively converting open potentials into permanent physical records. Spacetime provides the map, but the thick present is the only place where we actively build the territory.